Tonight on NewsWatch Ole Miss, police say the scene is safe after a bomb threat in front of the Oxford Police Department this afternoon. We'll tell you everything we know so far.
The Facebook whistleblower testified before a Senate subcommittee today as the tech company remains on the hot seat. We'll hear from the Senator Roger Wicker during that hearing coming up.
And according to a new report, vaccines have prevented a staggering number of coronavirus deaths in just the last 5 months. Those numbers are here and more straight ahead. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now.
Good evening and welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Aniston McClellan.
And I'm Hannah Deere. We start off with the latest on a bomb scare at the Oxford Police Department today. An unspecified individual dropped off a grenade, which they did not believe to be live, to the police department this afternoon. After consulting with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, OPD determined that the grenade was possibly live after blocking off the area directly in front of the police department. They called in the bomb squad from the Tupelo Police Department and later deemed the area safe. OPD did not specify if the grenade was in fact live, but thanked everyone involved in the process.
A long-anticipated audit accuses the Mississippi Department of Human Services of misspending millions of dollars. Clifton Larson Allen LLC accountants suspect roughly $41 million were fraudulently spent. Auditors believe only $1.7 million of that was federally approved for welfare spending. Former Director John Davis and Nancy New allegedly participated in the welfare embezzlement scheme. The nonprofit is currently awaiting trial for the unaccounted expenses.
But the fraud doesn't stop there. According to the Oxford Eagle, today the state auditor's office arrested former Yalobusha County Sheriff William Lance Humphreys and former Yalobusha County General Hospital employee Catherine Rottenberry Brown on separate crimes. Humphreys is accused of transferring money directly to his bank account from Lafayette County's inmate canteen account, a collection of funds targeted specifically at providing educational and recreational resources for county inmates. Humphreys was indicted for embezzlement after allegedly stealing $5,000 from the account. Brown allegedly embezzled over $70,000 from the hospital. She faces up to 20 years in prison.
And today, the Lafayette County Board of Supervisors approved the purchase of new poll books. After the long election day lines of 2020, Lafayette County Circuit Court Clerk Jeff Busby looked for a more efficient way for voters to cast their ballots. Lafayette County is now making an effort to quicken the voting process by acquiring 55 updated poll books. The new software allows for voters to electronically scan their photo ID at the polls. The scanners will access the voters' information and make for a more efficient check-in process.
Lafayette County is one of the fastest growing counties in Mississippi. According to the Oxford Eagle, Dr. Ann Kafer and Dr. Jamiko Delavaux of the University Center for Population Studies presented data results from the 2020 census in the regular Lafayette County Board of Supervisors meeting on Monday that showed a 17.9% increase in population from 2010 to 2020. This contrasts the rest of the state, which experienced a population drop of over 6,000. The city of Oxford specifically has seen the largest increase, with 6,500 new residents over the last 10 years. Meanwhile, the university student population has decreased. Schools in the Lafayette County School District tested above the statewide average in almost every category. Lafayette beat the state by about 6% in English, 18% in mathematics, 15% in science, and 7% in history. Although the numbers beat out the majority of the state, they are significantly lower than the 2018-2019 pre-COVID scores. The Oxford School District also scored well above the state average.
The investigation into Facebook continues on Capitol Hill today. Former Facebook employee turned whistleblower Frances Howen joined the hearing to testify. Isabel Rosalie has the latest.
Facebook needs to take responsibility.
Facebook is trending, and it's a big mess for the social media giant.
I came to realize a devastating truth. Almost no one outside of Facebook knows what happens inside of Facebook.
Whistleblower Frances Haugen testifying in a Senate subcommittee 24 hours after a massive outage took out Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram.
The company's leadership knows how to make Facebook and Instagram safer, but won't make the necessary changes because they have put their astronomical profits before people.
The former Facebook product manager is taking aim at the company's algorithms, accusing them of leading young users to harmful content like anorexia.
They have to make sure that the next generation is just as engaged with Instagram as the current one. And the way they'll do that is by making sure that children establish habits before they have good self-regulation.
By hooking kids.
By hooking kids.
That's why she's pleading for congressional oversight. Rare bipartisan agreement.
You and I ought to resolve our differences and introduce legislation. So as Senator Thune said, let's go to work.
Our differences are very minor, or they seem very minor in the face of the revelations that we've now seen.
Facebook spokesperson weighing in on the testimony via Twitter, saying Haugen did not work on child safety and has no direct knowledge of the topic, something she acknowledged. In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
Facebook has repeatedly denied Haugen's claim and cast doubt on 60 Minutes interview, saying that it was selective materials to tell a misleading story.
Mississippi Senator Roger Wicker is the ranking member of the Consumer Protection, Product Safety, and Data Security Subcommittee and questioned Haugen as well. Wicker spoke critically not only of Facebook, but of big tech as a whole during the hearing today.
The children of America are hooked on their product. It is often destructive and harmful, and there is a cynical knowledge on behalf of the leadership of these big tech companies.
Wicker and his fellow Mississippi Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith announced a co-sponsored bill that would address issues relating to Biden's administration withdrawal from Afghanistan. According to Action News 5, the bill would, among other things, establish a State Department task force to help evacuate those who were not evacuated when the U.S. military left the country this summer and impose oversight on the processing of Afghan special visa holders and refugees coming into the United States. The bill would also authorize the U.S. to sanction the Taliban as well as other foreign nations for providing support. Republican Senator Jim Risch of Idaho originally proposed the measure. It now has 30 sponsors.
And now for a Mississippi COVID-19 update. The Mississippi State Department of Health reported 947 new positive COVID test results this morning and 61 new COVID-related deaths. Lafayette County accounts for 10 of the new COVID cases. COVID cases in Mississippi since the start of the pandemic are now nearing 492,000. The MSDH updates their website every weekday. Visit msdh.ms.gov for more information.
The pandemic has radically changed the way that healthcare providers operate. The latest in an ever-growing line of shortages once again threatens day-to-day hospital operations, as once again blood is at a premium. CNN's Mandy Gaither has the latest.
500 blood donations since 1999.
It's my way of giving back.
It's a milestone for Sean Brennan, who has rolled up his sleeves for the Red Cross even through the pandemic.
When you think of the lives you could be saving, it's a no-brainer to me.
But the Red Cross says COVID-19 has kept many others away, especially in the past several months as the U.S. has been grappling with the Delta variant.
This is an emergency.
Right now, there's a dire demand for blood. The Red Cross says its national inventory is the lowest it's been at this time of the year since 2015. There's less than a day's supply of certain blood types.
There are concerns for hospitals who may have to delay elective procedures or surgeries. A worst case scenario is that the hospitals won't have the blood for emergency type situations.
The organization estimates it'll need to collect around 10,000 additional units each week for a month above what's normally donated in order to make up for the shortage. While there's a need for all blood types, the Red Cross is most in need of type O.
O negative is universal and is used in emergency situations, and O positive is nearly universal and is the most commonly transfused blood type.
The Red Cross says safety measures are in place to keep donors and staff protected from COVID-19. That includes mask and appointment requirements.
It's all about saving lives.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If you're willing and able to give blood, you can go to redcrossblood.org to find nearby blood drives.
And while we're on the topic of COVID, a new report shows vaccines have saved thousands of seniors from dying of the coronavirus. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services published the report today. Researchers claim there is a correlation between increasing vaccination rates among senior citizens and decreased elderly COVID hospitalizations and deaths. Senior citizens are now the most vaccinated demographic in the country, with more than 94% having received the first dose.
And Johnson & Johnson is asking the Food and Drug Administration to approve its COVID-19 booster shot. The company submitted data sets showing that a second shot boosts immunity response 94% when given 2 months after the first dose and 12-fold when given at 6 months. In contrast to Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson officials say their vaccine does not wane over time. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine has been approved by the FDA for specific groups, including people ages 65 and older. The FDA will consider approval for Johnson & Johnson and Moderna at the end of next week.
Coming up, questions still surround an oil spill off the coast of California this weekend as crews work to clean up. We'll take you to the scene.
And hundreds of workers with one major food company are on strike across the country today. Find out why after the break. But first, here's a look at your current conditions.
Hurricanes and major flooding threaten cities, towns, and rural homes across the Gulf states. So chances are there will be more storms and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not my first time bartending, so.
It's a sausage party in here.
It's fine. I'm very familiar.
Yeah, because you're a sexy girl, Sam. Last thing,
Yeah.
is that the music, when Momo kicks it into high gear, is going to get a little bit loud in here. So your customers are going to have a hard time hearing you. So you may want to...
What?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Countless questions still surround the oil spill of the southern coast of California. CNN reporter Camilla Bernal has the latest from the scene.
We're focused on two things today, the ongoing cleanup and the investigation. Let's start with the cleanup. Here in Huntington Beach, the beaches remain closed, but there are crews that are currently working to pick up what's left. There are small pieces of oil, and little by little, these crew members are putting them into bags and disposing of that oil safely. A similar effort also happening in the water. There are boats out there trying to collect the floating oil, but this is going to be a long and difficult process, so we don't expect the cleanup to be done anytime soon. Now, the other aspect of all of this is the investigation. We're learning through new documents that there were reports of this spill on Friday night, but the energy company is saying that they saw or they learned of this spill on Saturday. So that's 12 hours after we're seeing these reports come in. So there are a lot of questions as to the timeline of this, why it happened and how it happened. Amplify Energy says that it's possible that the anchor of a ship passing by hit that pipeline and caused the leak, but they're still trying to figure out exactly what happened. But investigators here, or local officials here, say that that is not enough. The district attorney here in Orange County says he wants an independent investigation. He says this company should not be investigating itself and instead wants independent divers to go out there and try to figure out how this happened. Of course, this is going to be ongoing over the next couple of weeks, but residents here continue to demand answers. In Huntington Beach, California, I'm Camila Burnell.
Meanwhile, oil prices are the highest they have been in 7 years. This morning, the cost of oil jumped by 1.5%, which brings the cost to almost $79 per barrel, a price that hasn't been seen since November of 2014. This year alone, oil prices have increased by 62%. The spike came after the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries declined to ramp up oil production for all allies. The increase of oil price means that you're paying for more at the pump. The national average price of regular gas is $3.20 per gallon, which is $1 higher than it was a year ago.
And a man is on custody after Capitol Police arrested him in front of the Supreme Court building while investigating a suspicious vehicle report. Police said they found 55-year-old Dale Melvin of Michigan in an SUV parked illegally in front of the nation's high court, but he would not tell them why he was there. He then told them that the time for talking was done and they backed away from the vehicle. Crisis negotiations attempted to talk with Melvin, but he refused and was eventually removed from the SUV. Police did not find any weapons. Yesterday marked the first day that the Supreme Court justices were back in the building for oral arguments.
And a scathing report came out of France today regarding decades of abuse by officials in the Catholic Church. The report estimates that the French clergy sexually abused more than 200,000 minors over the last 70 years. Pope Francis responded to the report, saying that he is grateful that the victims had the courage to speak up. He condemned the abuse and said that he hopes that the Church of France can still redeem itself.
Back in the United States, thousands of employees in 4 different states are on strike today to protest their wages. Workers at Kellogg's plants in Nebraska, Michigan, Tennessee, and Pennsylvania walked out today after the company's contract with its workers' union expired. The union says the company wants to eliminate cost of living adjustments and the cap on lower wage workers. Meanwhile, Kellogg says it has proposed significant increases in wages, benefits, and retirement.
66, 12, 22, 54, 69, and 15. Those are the magic numbers. A lucky winner in California matched them all last night and won the jackpot, which is nearly $700 million. After taxes and payouts for smaller prizes, the winner will take home a grand total of $496 million. They can take all the money at once or choose to have the money paid to them gradually over the course of 29 years. Prior to last night, it had been 40 weeks since the last jackpot winner.
Coming up next in sports, the Chargers and the Raiders went head-to-head last night for Monday Night NFL football. And hear what Coach Matt Mott had to say about the soccer team being ranked number 5 in the NCAA RPI.
Mom, I got it. What are you doing in there?
I got stuck.
Are you a dog?
I wouldn't do that. Have you seen the pliers? Where'd you find those?
It's not your birthday.
Sorry.
Bye, Grandpa.
Bye, Grandpa.
Take care of yourself. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
road, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Julia, are you ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
It's been a hot start to the season for the Ole Miss women's soccer team, and while Coach Matt Mott feels that the team itself is in a good position at the moment, he thinks what really matters is where the team is toward the end of the season when it comes closer to the championships.
It's never been that high, no. It's pretty exciting that we're there, but it's really important we're there at the end of the year, right? When the NCAA tournament rolls around, and I'm on the NCAA committee, so I know how important that stuff is, but at this point, we're in a really good spot from that standpoint.
Serving over to the court, the Rebel volleyball team is set to host the Arkansas Razorbacks tomorrow night. Entering their third week of conference play, looking for their third win over Arkansas since 2019, Anna Blair heads in tomorrow's game with a 7-match double-digit kill streak. Sasha Ratliff was a force through 3 matches at the Holiday Inn University Plaza Invitational. This MVP racked up 3 kills per set and matched a career-high 15 kills and 9 blocks in the win over Western Kentucky. Arkansas enters the third week of SEC play with a record of 11-4 and 2-2 conference after defeating Georgia on Saturday. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night at 6 p.m. on SEC Network to see the Rebels at the net. Running over to the field, the Rebel women's cross country team moved up 1 spot in the rankings and are currently ranked at number 14. On the other side, the Rebel men are ranked at number 28 in the week for National Coaches Poll. Ole Miss is coming off a solid showing at Notre Dame's Joe Payne Invitational on October 1st, where the Rebel women finished 6th behind 5 top 10 teams. The Rebel men took 8th and were led by a top 10 finish from MVP Mario Garcia Romo. Both teams are preparing for the highly competitive pre-national invitational held this year at Florida State on October 15th. For more on Ole Miss cross country, be sure to follow at Ole Miss Track on all socials. The Ole Miss men's golf team finished day 1 at the Blessings Collegiate Invitational on Monday, coming in second amongst 10 of the best programs in the country. The team's score of 285 saw them finish 3 under par, 7 strokes behind host Arkansas. The Rebs ended strong on the 18th hole with 4 out of the 5 golfers making birdie on the final hole. It was certainly great to see our guys finish off the round today, head coach Chris Malloy said. Players to watch are Evan Brown, Brett Schell, Jackson Suber, and Kyle Meeks as the season continues. Finishing up on the gridiron for Monday Night Football, the Los Angeles Chargers picked up a victory against their division rivals, the Las Vegas Raiders, 28-14 last night. The Chargers were ready to move the ball, with quarterback Justin Herbert completing passes at a high rate and navigating Vegas's defense comfortably. Herbert also gave LA a 3-score lead heading into halftime with touchdown passes for days. The Raiders, on the other hand, had an opportunity to drive for a game-tying score, but quarterback Derek Carr took a third down sack that stalled their momentum, as well as Daniel Carlson missing a 52-yard field goal. Stay tuned next week as the Chargers will be at home for Week 5 when they're set to host the Browns, while the Raiders will return to Vegas to host the Bears, who are coming off of a fresh win. That's all I've got for sports. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at rebel_watch for the latest sports updates.
Thanks, Grace. Gods, Kings, Fire and Blood. Sound familiar?
Well, one special TV show many know and love is coming back, yet it's a spin-off version. Find out what's next on NewsWatch Ole Miss.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Fans of Game of Thrones got a sneak peek at the newest installment releasing next year. The official teaser for House of the Dragon dropped online today. This Game of Thrones prequel focuses on the Targaryen family, who can control dragons in this fantasy world.
According to the video, the series takes place 200 years before the start of the original series. House of the Dragon is set to air on HBO Max in 2022. All right, Hannah, I gotta ask, do you watch Game of Thrones?
I do not watch Game of Thrones. I tried to read them, which explains why it's difficult for me to pronounce the name. I never watched it, I couldn't hear it. But they were really good, but I put them down and then I tried to pick it up later. So many names, so many characters.
Yeah, I can't shame you too much because I don't watch it either.
You don't watch it either? No. Do you think you'd like it?
Honestly, from what I've heard, I think I would.
All right.
I think I would.
Okay, all right. Well, that's all for tonight. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Hannah Deere.
And I'm Aniston McClellan. Make sure to follow us on social media pages for all updates.
Thank you and good night.